Okay. Hello, everybody. I just got done recording a different video, and then I saw something interesting. Oh, I know. Let me get rid of this window. Alright, so I just got done recording the one-shot game video, my first ever in the playlist series of one-shots. That is Zinka, and I thought, man, I wonder what's on YouTube. And oh boy, did I find some stuff on YouTube. So apparently, there is a video by everyone's favorite political YouTuber, drama channel, fucking ShoeOnHead. I don't have any problems with ShoeOnHead. In fact, I actually watch her content every now and again because I think her content's actually really fascinating. It's also interesting. I also think she has a lot of good points. I think she very much understands the main problems that I think most people have with politics, and in particular when it comes to Twitter and the ideologically handicapped left-wing populace of our country. But anyways, I thought, she made a new video. Might as well react to it, right? Because here's the thing, is that reactions they're very popular, right? They're also there's something they're very easily abused, right? And I thought, Shue has a lot of people who react to her content, right? And she's a popular person to react to, at least on the female side of YouTubing, right? And so in my never-ending quest to experiment and explore what is and isn't something that people would like to watch or see reactions of, I thought, why not make a video reacting to a ShoeOnHead video, since ShoeOnHead is a popular person to react to. You won't be seeing this video until well within a couple of weeks in advance. But, them's the ropes, right? So I thought, why not, right? I'll make a video about this, experiment with it, see how it goes, right? Because I don't know what people want for reaction content, which is why I'm experimenting. And plus, also, I don't want to react too much to things, because, I'm mostly a gaming channel, but, I wouldn't mind the occasional reaction content here and there. It's just that I don't know what people want when it comes to reaction content. And so, I'm still just experimenting. That being said, so without further delay, I can just jump right into it. I'm curious to see what she has to say about this. I only watched like a few minutes of this so far, and so I'm kind of curious what she has to say about the election results, or just the election in general. So I've seen her other content, I've seen her other videos. I have my own opinions, but we'll leave that for now. Let's see what she has to say. Without further ado, just ignoring the bullshit and just getting straight into things. Let's just delve into it without focusing too much on me ranting. Starting in 3, 2, 1, 0.
Election night in America, one of the most consequential elections in recent history.
Donald Trump has won the presidential election in Kentucky.
To Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Oklahoma. Missouri will go to Donald Trump.
It's clear now that Donald Trump has picked up key support among Hispanic voters, despite all the things that he said.
Donald Trump will win the state of North
What is this quality?
The state of Georgia will go to former President Donald Trump.
The evening was getting increasingly somber as people realized what this map is looking like.
CNN projects that Donald Trump will win the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Kamala Harris is not winning.
So you won't hear from the vice president tonight?
News Decision Desk can now officially project that Donald Trump will become the 47th president of the United States.
Do you really think that the Democratic Party is...
Oh, look, it's everybody's favorite punching bag, Bernie Sanders. God, I was not a Bernie bro, but even I didn't think that Bernie deserved nearly the same level of vitriol and hate that he got from his own fucking party, by the way. His own party. That shit was awful. I still remember that, too, back in the 2016 elections. Just like Bernie Sanders running, fucking, he ends up leaving, and because nobody really supported him. And it's just like, I mean, I wouldn't fucking blame him for doing so. Have you seen the things people said about him? That shit was awful. It's just like, goddamn. It's just, it was crazy.
Fighting for you. The overwhelming answer is no.
And we're starting strong with this one.
Well, well, well. What have we learned? Nothing, apparently. I regret to inform you everything I predicted about the election.
So business as usual? But no, seriously, they consistently never learn. They never learn anything. And it boggles my mind still to this day how they consistently learn nothing. Continuing.
In my last video came true and more. Men did overwhelmingly turn out for Trump, especially young men. But I was wrong about one thing. Young men weren't the only ones who came out in droves for Trump. Nearly everyone did. The madman took everything, every swing state, Pennsylvania, Georgia. My home state, New York, was closer to flipping red than Florida was to flipping blue. Turns out Dick Cheney as brat wasn't the best message to win over voters. Dems did so bad it really had me.
You know, every time I watch a ShoeOnHead video, I learn something new about the internet that I never wanted to know. And I don't know what the hell Dick Cheney's brat means, but I don't want to know. But I know someone somewhere is going to bring it up in some capacity. And every time, I always have that prelude because I watch the ShoeOnHead video. That's how you know she's in the memes, bro. That's how you know she's in the memes. She's there. She's right there with everyone when it comes to being up to date and understanding information. At least most of the time. Moving on.
Thinking, damn, did we steal that election? So what happened here? How did it go so wrong? Is it too late for the Democratic Party, or can they turn this around? Will the Democrats learn from this, or will they double down and get worse?
They will always get worse. Never underestimate the power of just tooting up your nose, sticking your fingers in your ear, and going, la 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 la, I know nothing, I hear nothing, I hear and say nothing, no. You know, just fucking, they are the masters, the goddamn wizards of ignoring a problem and pretending like it doesn't exist. I fucking hate these people. Anyways, before we get too further into the ranting.
In this video, I'm going to go through all the excuses and the copes the Democrats and the broader left are coming up with to avoid accountability. Read some silly tweets, watch some silly news clips, and even give the Democratic Party some advice on how to win 2028. Don't worry, Republicans watching this. They won't listen. Maybe in 2050, under the barren Trump monarchy, someone might come to their senses, but not anytime soon. If you only watched or read most mainstream liberal news, it really seemed like Kamala had this in the bag, which is why you should try to get your news from a variety of different sources. Oh, that reminds me. Before we dive into this election dissection, let's give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, a sponsor I've been working with for over 4 years now, Ground News. Ground News is a website and an app that gives readers an easy and transparent way to read the news all across the political spectrum.
And before anyone says anything, no, I will not skip the ad, fuck you.
Every story comes with a quick visual breakdown that helps you understand the full story and makes sure you're getting both sides. One of my favorite features of Ground News is the blind spot feature, which shows you what news stories have been covered by one side of the political spectrum and ignored by the other. For example, here is a story about how Bernie Sanders...
I like how she always does the advertisement at some other point in time, and then it's just jarring to see her look completely different from how she presents herself in the video. It's funny only because she looks so different in this image. And it's just, it takes me aback, because it's like, she had brown hair, now she suddenly is a redhead. It's like, what the fuck? Where did this come from? She'd be looking like Mary Jane from the Tobey Maguire movies. Anyways, moving on.
Sanders is open to working with Trump on capping credit card interest, and there's 23 sources on it, and 89% are right-wing. No left-wing sources have covered the story. And this story about how 2 women have told the ethics panel that Matt Gaetz paid them for sex, 31 sources, 61% have been left-wing.
What?
You can even see who owns these political outlets. Ground News also makes it really easy and fun to compare headlines to see how ownership or political bias can affect the framing of a story. For example, this story about how a man was arrested after allegedly a stabbing spree in Manhattan that left 2 dead and 1 injured. This left-wing outlet says, man arrested after alleged stabbing spree in Manhattan that left 2 dead, 1 injured. This right-wing outlet says, 2 dead, 1 critically injured in Manhattan as knife-wielding maniac launches unprovoked stabbing spree. I have been using Ground News since...
That's another thing that I hate about news. God, do I hate about news. Is like, can we be consistent? Can we just please be consistent? Okay, so if one outlet is saying that this motherfucker is going around stabbing the shit out of people, why is it that I could find another news outlet that says, oh, they're allegedly running around and stabbing people? And it's like, which the fuck is it? Are they a maniac? Are they serial killers? Is there a serial killer running around stabbing people? Or are you just being a fucking asshole for no reason? It's like, which is it? What is the truth here? Is it, did this guy go around stabbing people like a crazy person, or is it just like suspected that he is? I want fucking answers. Concrete, motherfucker. Can you fucking tell me what it is? Can you? Because one of these things are not like the other. You want to know another thing that pisses me off? Is that it seems like these people don't understand how to tell the truth. I feel like I need to quote Samuel L. Jackson, where it's just like, fucking, the truth, motherfucker. Can you speak it? Is that a thing? Do you understand the concept of the English language? Do you know what allegedly means? It's just fucking... Anyways, I'm done. Moving on.
2021, and I am just obsessed with this app. It is a great and easy way to stay informed, plus it really helps me see how both sides frame the same story so differently. Best of all, for Black Friday, I am offering 50% off their Vantage plan, which is the plan I use to access all their amazing features. This is their biggest discount of the year, so go to ground.news/shoe, use the QR code here on the screen, or use the link in the video description down below, and subscribe today for only $4.16 repeating per month. I personally think what they're doing is very important because it helps approach the news in a more balanced and transparent way, and I feel like we really need that nowadays. So thank you, Ground News, for...
No fucking shit. I have to get most of my information from fucking drama channels, apparently, because apparently nobody could do their fucking jobs correctly. Fucking assholes. I'm tired. I'm seriously tired of media, man. It's like, oh, it's a political thing where you care more about the message. And it's like, how about you just do your fucking job? How about that? Fuck yourselves. Go fuck it. Anyway, I'm done. I don't want to get into this. I don't want to get into this. I'm already getting it. I'm feeling it. It's pissing me off, and I don't want to get into it.
Sponsoring this video, and thank you, the viewer, for not skipping the ad. Right? And now, let's get back to this election dissection, shall we?
You are welcome.
There's no point in saying good morning, because it certainly is not one.
From blaming the American people to blaming Joe Rogan, the Democrats and the media are having a hard time coping with their loss, and I don't blame them. It was a pretty big loss. Embarrassing, quite frankly.
It was actually pretty great because when you think about it, you know, it wasn't like a half and half split, so there wasn't any real contention to be had there. It was very clear and obvious who was the fucking asshole and who's the loser in this argument. And in my opinion, I love that answer a lot better than if it was like 2020, what was it? The 2020 election, right? Because it was split in half, and so that just, for some reason, riled up the left enough to where they were just like, we need to fucking push these people out. And it's like, How about you just don't fucking do that, and instead you just, try to win people over? No. We're going to push them out. We're going to make sure they're out of these spaces so we have all of the coverage, all of the talking points. Nobody could contend with us. They are literally the ecclesiarchy, and and all of these Twitter armchair pundits and keyboard warriors are the fucking inquisitors. They are fucking garbage. I hate these people. It's why I don't use social media. I will never use social media, and I hear they're all moving to Blue Sky. Not even Mark Hamill likes Blue Sky, apparently. And that's a funny thing to say. I love Mark Hamill as an actor, but goddamn if he's had some takes, man. He has had some fucking takes, let me tell you. I cannot remember why what those takes were. I just remember that I have read some things by Mark Hamill that I literally scratch my head and like, how the fuck do you miss the point this hard? And I have nothing against the guy. I like his acting career. I like everything that he does. But I do not want to see what he has to say about politics because he's clearly not looking at it from the lens of any type of reason or scrutiny. He's, at least for some of the things that I've seen, it could just be out of context. I have no idea. I just think it's funny, though, that he moved out of Blue Sky, apparently, allegedly, because he can't deal with the people on it. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what the story is behind that. I just remember seeing something on my recommendation feed on YouTube that's basically said, Mark Hamill left Blue Sky? Not even Mark Hamill? Even Mark Hamill got driven off of the platform? And it's like, oh, that's interesting. Probably one of the bigger blue-pilled people and, celebrities that you could possibly have got kicked out of the one platform that is as blue-pilled as fuck. That's amazing. I do not know what Blue Sky is, and I will never know, and I will never care, because if I wanted to lose my goddamn marbles, I would certainly consider it, but I will never go to it. Never. Because I don't want to... I like being happy. I like having sanity. I'd rather not lose what little common sense and scruples that I have left. Just saying. Anyways, moving on. I fucking hate American politics.
Donald Trump overperformed in nearly every state, with basically
Let me rewind that for you so we go into this fresh.
having a hard time coping with their loss, and I don't blame them. It was a pretty big loss. Embarrassing, quite frankly. Donald Trump overperformed in nearly every state, with basically every demographic, and the entire country seems to be shifting more red. Everyone was so sure dangerous, devious, dastardly Donald would never make his way back into the White House to steal democracy.
Boy, if that was the case, if that was true, man, you people are fucking ignorant as shit. You are ignorant as all shit. You people literally did not see it coming. Someone cue the Persona 5 music, because they quite literally didn't see it coming. Fucking losers. How did you fucking think this was gonna go when you kept bashing the only face that bothers to vote? I'm fucking tired of these people. It's like, do you have common sense? No, we like to fly by the seat of our pants. And not in the good way. We like to just make up shit as we go along. It's like, how did you expect this to go? My guy, how did you think this was gonna go? It's like, oh yeah, just keep bashing on people, just keep beating them down with this fucking bludgeon, this fucking hammer. This will definitely help. No, it's totally not gonna come back and bite us in the ass. Look at this. Look at that. Did you see that score, by the way? Also, did you see that chart? That was awful. Fucking awful. Get wrecked, scrubs. Jesus Christ. These guys. I can't, man. It's awful. Anyways, I'm done. Moving on.
And he did it. With democracy. Anyway, I got a lot of comments on my last video from new fags like, wait, you're left-wing and you hate the Democrats? Yeah, man, that's a pretty common thing.
I have liberal views, and even I hate other liberals. I think most liberals hate other liberals. I fucking hate the Democrats. I don't think of myself as a Democrat specifically. I've registered as a libertarian, but it's like, I cannot stand the left because they do not understand how to human. It's like, my brother in Christ, do you people work for a living? No? Shut the fuck up. Do not talk about what a majority of the population thinks about if you have no real-world experience. It's the simplest fucking thing you can do. But they'll do it anyways. Because they're insane. They're perpetually and unabashedly just fucking unhinged and insane. Moving on.
If you're shocked that I'm left-wing, maybe that's a sign you need to take a step back and evaluate some of the preconceived stereotypes you have of people. Not all of us are crazy blue-haired socialists, no. Some of us are crazy brown-haired socialists. But for those of you who are new here, hello, I am ShoeOnHead. If you ask the right wing, I am Stalin. If you ask the left wing, I am Hitler. Fiscally far left, culturally centrist, socially retarded.
What right-wing person is calling you a Hitler? What? I would love to see what kind of people actually talk shit about Shoe, because she says things, and I'm like, they can't really mean that. And then she proves me wrong sometimes, and it's like, well, shit. So I can only imagine what kind of shit she gets on a daily, but it's like, if you're a right-wing person, why would you have a problem with Shoe when she speaks to a majority of people who have problems with the left, as well as the dichotomy between men and women? Because that's the thing, too, is that for some bizarre fucking reason, women have this bit of a chip on their shoulder where they think, well, everything that could ever be a problem is somehow men's fault. And it's like, nah, bitch. Well, it's not our fault. It's our grandparents' fault, and they're dead. I don't know what you expect us to do about it, because we got no power to speak of. We're shit out of luck. You want to go do something about it? Go talk to the fossils in office. You might actually get somewhere if you appeal to them. Maybe flash some titties at them, and maybe they'll fucking, if they don't have a stroke afterwards, they'll probably fucking pen something into regulation. I'm sorry, but it's like, nobody apparently knows how government, how business, how anything works. Nobody. Like, you don't need to have a degree in economics or trade schools of any kind to know that for business to succeed, you must understand and court an audience and a consumer base that wants the products for which you are selling. It is the simplest fucking thing in the universe. And yet some people don't understand this. They're just like, oh my god, I can't believe this fucking titty game made so much gangbusters of money. How could this be? I thought we were more progressive than this. And it's like, sex sells in every industry, bitch. Do you not know what Rule 34 is? I'm done.
But if you really must put me in a box, it's not that hard to pin me down. I'm a populist. Think Huey Long if he was a 5'3" Italian New Yorker woman who still did her hair and makeup like it was 2008. Put a pin in that Huey Long name, by the way. He's gonna come up later. I grew up in the 90s and the 2000s. My political awakening was jibjab.com. The first time I voted for Obama. I was ready for that hope and change. Instead, we got the crushing of Occupy Wall Street and more drone strikes. And from there, it only got worse. I voted for Bernie in the primaries in 2016, and I watched as the Democratic Party did everything in their power to destroy this man twice. So
I don't know what you mean. I was doing my absolute job and best in office. I was when I drone strike, I do it with intent, and I totally meant for those terrorists totally have their lives and families ruined. Just in a very, very, very ceremonious and unceremonious way. It was entirely intentional. It was the only means we had to do it. It was and I happen to think that we did a pretty good job. We did a pretty good job. I know nothing about Barack Obama as a person. I also did not give the slightest fuck when he was in office about politics. Still kind of don't, but I kind of can't avoid politics now because it's in everything. So I had to become educated on this shit. And as a result, I'm finding that, while I understand most of the shit around the fucking Oompa Loompa in office, I don't know nearly next to nothing about Barack Obama, but all I know is that he is the drone strike god, and he will absolutely send drones to your house if you're not careful. He probably is sending one to my house as we speak because I dare to impersonate him in a terribly gross fashion, so, don't expect to see any more uploads after this.
So it is safe to say I am a little biased when it comes to the Democratic Party, but I don't think I've hated them more than I do right now. The truth is, my last video was way meaner and way harsher than the final product turned out to be. When I showed the video to my assistant, he basically had an intervention with me and he was like, listen, you need to soften this up a bit. It's a few days before the election. You went too hard. Well...
What? No. No! No, your assistant... No. Okay, I have an idea for you, Shu. I have an idea. If you ever watch this, I swear to God, I have an idea for you. You want to make some money? You want to get that bag? And if the baby on the way pregnancy allegations or having already gotten a child is true, then this will probably help out a lot. You're telling me there is an uncut version of that original video? Release the full uncut version of that video and make it members only. You will be thanking me and literally everyone who becomes a member for the absolute awesomeness that is the idea that ShoeOnHead went completely gloves off on the Democrats. That is an idea that I could get behind. And as someone who already hates the left to a sufficient degree, I could get behind that. I'm not gonna spend money on it because I've already spent $1,000 recently. Don't even ask. I will absolutely say that for all of the people in her audience who have some money to spend, throw in an extra bit of change here and there if you have any, and just go watch that uncut gem. Sounds like a great way to pass the time if you ask me. Why not pull up the chair, crank out the popcorn, get your beer ready. She's gonna fucking go ham on the Democrats. Fucking, I would love to see that. That would be awesome. I'm sure a lot of people would. I'm sure there's some ShoeOnHead fans who would absolutely love to see her just go completely gloves off, hand-fisted into fucking people's faces with her commentary about the political left. She's probably got some opinions in there that she probably has that would absolutely destroy some people. If not because they're correct, it's because they're so goddamn in your face, unapologetically just go fuck yourself energy that it commands attention. Anyways, I'm done. Moving on. Please consider it if you would like. Miss Shue, I am just a humble, casual spectator.
The election is over, and I'm sorry, and way harsher than the final product turned out to be. When I showed the video to my assistant, he basically had an intervention with me, and he was like, listen, you need to soften this up a bit. It's a few days before the election. You went too hard. Well, the election is over, and I'm sorry, River, but I'm going hard.
Oh?
You idiots. You morons. You imbeciles. Kamala Harris? Really? That's who you threw up there? The one who dropped out before Iowa? The one who got blown the f*** out by Tulsi Gabbard? Why didn't you hold a primary? Aren't you the f***ing saviors of democracy? Where the f*** was the democracy?
I find it very hilarious, too, by the way, that they could not find a better candidate. They just could not. They could not find a better candidate than Kamala fucking Harris. I want you to know I have nothing against Kamala because I've heard nothing about Kamala that is genuinely god-awful. But I haven't heard a whole lot of good either. But most of it is just like she hasn't done anything of note, and she's also responsible for a few things that I don't think most people want to see put into practice in a more executive position. So, that being said, you know, I think that you could certainly find a better candidate. The fact that you didn't is interesting and also at the same time concerning if I was a Democrat. But, you know, that's neither here or there. Why Kamala? You couldn't get anybody else? You couldn't bring back Bernie Sanders? You couldn't bring back anybody else to appeal to normal, everyday Americans? You couldn't even get the fossil that was... What the fuck was her name? Was it Tulsi Gabbard? I don't think it was Tulsi Gabbard. Who's the fossil in office who literally has that old-style haircut, who is just kind of a bitch? I don't remember. There are plenty of images, memes, and other things made of her, right? I don't remember. She's like the biggest Trump hater in office. At least I think she is. If memory serves, she's certainly one of them. You couldn't get that You couldn't get that to run for president. It's like, what's going on? What happened? You couldn't find anyone else.
Oh, big congratulations! Flown the out by Tulsi Gabbard? Why didn't you hold a primary? Aren't you the fucking saviors of democracy? Where the was the democracy? Oh, big congratulations to Tim Walz on being the first white male DEI hire. It didn't work. The DNC completely neutered that guy, reduced him to this weird token white man. Hello, fellow men, I too play football. But hey, men were...
He literally was the personification of the meme, hello, fellow kids, with the skateboard and the turned cap and everything. It's like, you could not make this shit up if you tried. It was funnily disgusting just how much they tried and slapped so many people in the face because of it. It's like it's such a tonal whiplash. It's so shocking that any of it got aired. It's like, how are you this out of touch? It's like all you had to do was just, and I've been saying this since the beginning. All Kamala would have to do is just say what she plans to do when she gets in office, and then go through the process of talking about her plans about what she would do if she got into office. Say what she's going to do, and then go through a step-by-step description of what she's planning to do to change and rectify a lot of these issues. It would have gained her so much more support, even if it was naive, flawed, and just wholly flawed, or just fucking ridiculous in its conception. At least it would be doing something, right? Which is more than I could say for most of these people. Because they just love to sit on their ass and promise a bunch of things, and they do literally nothing about it. I fucking hate politicians. They are just a step below fucking lawyers. But most people would say, oh, lawyers are the absolute worst. But it's like, no. Lawyers at least have a purpose. They are there to at least defend your sorry ass if you're a garbage human being. They are literally hired to be not only your hype beast, they are there to be the person who defends you even at the cost of themselves and their own goddamn reputation. The politicians, their entire job is to lie to your fucking face and get away with it. They are scum. Literal scum. And I have no sympathy for these people. Fuck them. Moving on.
It didn't work. The DNC completely neutered that guy, reduced him to this weird token white man. Hello, fellow men, I too play football. But hey, men weren't the only demographic you completely dropped the ball with. Trump made incredible gains with women, too. Oh, and all those never-Trumpers you tried to court, the people who like the old, respectable GOP. You know, the old, respectable GOP that led us into a pointless war that cost us trillions of dollars and millions of lives. But we're at least nice on Twitter, that GOP. Yeah, they didn't come out and vote for your ass either. So you got Liz Cheney to tag along for what? For f***ing what? You raised $1 billion and ended up $20 million in debt? Where the hell did all that money go? Maybe you should have blown it all on celebrity appearances that did f***ing nothing. Or maybe it was spending 6 figures on a...
Oh yeah, fucking celebrity appearances. Oh yeah, because I totally want to know what celebrities think about politics, right? That's totally it. I totally want to waste my fucking time watching your fucking talk shows and interviews, as well as your rallies, and your little group meet and greets, get-togethers, and your little auditoriums talking, or fucking events, talking about stupid shit nobody cares about, with celebrities who have no business being there. Great fucking idea. Fucking, would you like a cookie? I have a cookie. It's called the literally go fuck yourself. Here's your pity cookie. I hate politics. I hate this shit so fucking much. It was the simplest thing you could do. Hell, I would have just said, fuck the celebrities. Let's bring in some influencers. So let's bring in some not right wing. Let's bring in some left wing influencers. Hassan? People still watch Hassan. Vosh? Why the fuck not? Let's get these people involved. These people, despite the fact that they're aligned with the worst fucking party in history, I'm gonna say that on record. At the least they're not so morally bankrupt as to pretend like there isn't a problem with how they're talking and conversing with men. It's like, holy fucking shit, how did you fuck this up? Oh yeah, we'll bring in some influencers and we'll have them make speeches about, like, why men are... Yeah, they're still bad, but hey, at least they're popular enough influencers to where, like, at least they might say something that might be encouraging, right? They might have thought about this a little bit. They might set up a little speech. They might say something like, you guys are bad, but you can be better. Something along those lines, right? Something, goddammit. No, let's just drag a bunch of fucking celebrities who get their fucking scripts written out ahead of time by people who have no fucking idea what the actual majority of the electorate fucking wants. I hate this shit. I hate this shit. Fuck this. And they're only gonna say whimsical shit because they don't want to say anything de facto because it could be defamatory and they don't want to look bad because they're fucking celebrities. And so anything that might come back to bite them in the ass is going to hurt them both work-wise and reputationally. And reputation matters with the Hollywood elite. They fucking love sucking their own fucking scum out of their asses and as well as sniffing their own farts. And let's not even get into any of the child stars that they happen to be in charge of. God help you if you let your child go into fucking Hollywood. That shit is a nightmare. Anybody remember Justin Bieber? Anybody remember every Disney child star ever? That's your future. That's your future if you go into fucking Hollywood. And if you let your children become pop stars, fucking Disney Channel sensationalists, among other things, right? Do not fucking do that. Do not let them do that without your fucking supervision. You make sure you are included in every decision ever made about your child, ever. And that you have the ability to watch over them and see them within your periphery at all times. Because I do not trust these people to tie their own fucking shoelaces, let alone be in custody of my own fucking child. Anyways, I'm done. Moving on. I'm moving on.
Single-use set for the Call Her Daddy podcast that didn't even hit 1 million views. I want to see a full audit of this campaign, because I wouldn't be surprised if this was all like a big money laundering scheme, because honestly, that makes more sense than this being a legitimate presidential campaign. Then, they had the audacity to beg their supporters for money after she lost. How about f*** you?
What? What? Is this real? The Harris Fund? What? Anyone who legitimately donated to something that stupid? If that's true, anyone who donates to something that incomprehensibly stupid should just be immediately. That should be your litmus test. That is the litmus test to determine whether or not you are fit to make your own decisions. You donate to that Harris Fund. You should be deemed mentally incapable of making your own decisions. I swear to fucking God. We're moving on. I gotta see that again.
A legitimate presidential campaign. Then, they had the audacity to beg their supporters for money.
First and foremost, we want to acknowledge the fear, confusion, and sadness many of you are feeling at this moment. For others, you may be looking for something meaningful and important to channel your emotions toward. If that's you, then we're asking you to make a donation to the Democratic Party today. Here's why this request is so important. What the fuck is this? I swear. I swear to God, if anyone actually donated to this, you're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. You are a goddamn idiot. You do not deserve to make your own decisions. What the shit is this? I'm so done. I'm so done. We're continuing before I lose my goddamn mind.
After she lost. How about you? How about every DNC consultant should have this map sewn onto the inside of their eyelids? May they never have a peaceful wink of sleep for the rest of their miserable lives. So that is how I feel about the whole situation. But what do Democrats and the media think? What do they think the Harris campaign did wrong? Why do they think Kamala lost?
I think Harris ran a really good campaign. If there's one person I do not blame for this loss.
You think so, my guy? Damn, those election results say a whole lot about that, don't they? We have fucking retards in office.
It is Vice President Harris. I do not blame for this loss. It is Vice President Harris.
This is gonna be a long fucking video. The media this morning saying Dems need to have a reckoning. No, we don't. We can't be blamed because we expected Americans to be who they always claim they are. Democrats don't have a messaging problem. America has a racism problem.
Yes, the phantom racists. Where are they? Are they here? Are they there? Where are they? Oh, I see. They're in our DEI consultant agencies, and they're the people who often think to themselves, man, what would be a really cool fucking idea to get more diversity, to get more people in color and the LGBTQ community in positions of power? Oh, I know. Let's just look at all of our applicants, and then we just hire the people because of that, and not because they're qualified. That makes perfect fucking sense. It's fucking genius. It's like, okay, what? And you say that America has a racism problem? Imagine being told that you only got hired for the position because you were black. I want you to think about that one for a second. Really unpack that fucking thing. Oh yeah, hey, fucking Tyrone, how did you get into this position, by the way? What, do you have a history in fucking programming? No, I actually had to learn about that while on the job. What do you mean? You need to have at least 5 years worth of experience of programming credentials. What do you mean you don't? What do you mean you don't know how to program before you started this job? Well, I mean, I called them up. I asked them for the position. I didn't think I was going to get a call back, but sure enough, they fucking said, oh, hey, do you have any programming skills? No. Do you have any of this other stuff? They went through the process, and they just told me, well, you're fucking hired anyways. And it's like, what? 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 Excuse me? How does that work? I had to have 5 years worth of experience to even get to even get a wink at me, and even then, they took fucking forever just to decide, hey, you got the position, congratulations, you start today. You start this date. But you just got in on the first day? Well, pretty much. Okay. Fucking good for you, I guess. Good for fucking you, I guess. Imagine that conversation. Imagine that conversation for a second. What kind of standard is that setting for the rest of your employees? What kind of standard is that setting for the rest of your company? What standard is that setting in general? Even for the people you hire. Even for those people you gave that position to. Oh, I don't have to work. I'll just get everything handed to me because I'm a protected class. I'm black. Go fuck yourself. What the fuck is wrong with you people? How did you let this shit happen? It's like, what the fuck? Anyways, I'm done. Moving on.
Dems need to have a reckoning. No, we don't. We can't be blamed because we expected Americans to be who they always claim they are. Democrats don't have a messaging problem. America has a racism problem. Kamala ran a flawless campaign in 100 days, and I refuse to let y'all gaslight me into believing anything other than that. She lost because she's a woman, and a black one at that.
I mean, this
Keep fucking telling yourself that, you delusional bastards. Keep telling yourself that.
really was an historic, flawlessly run campaign.
Listen, I'm no political analyst, but losing seems like a pretty big flaw. Truly, don't overthink it. It's because she's a woman, she's a black woman.
Is this going to be the excuse? It's because she is a woman and she's black? You know what? That's actually to be expected. What am I saying? Of course they're going to say that. Of course they're going to say she lost because she was both black and a woman. I mean, what else could it be? What else would it be? And it can't be because of the fact that she literally had no plan whatsoever. And anytime she probably did speak, she probably was talking about, like, oh, well, we care more about the feeling, the emotion of things, you know? She pulled the fucking Joe Biden approach to shit. Just like every other Democrat, they talked more about emotions and fifis than they did about actual fucking plans on how to fix shit, you know? As someone who is a voter, is a registered voter, and as someone who does and has indeed wanted to vote, it was kind of last minute. I don't know if my vote actually went through, but it's like, as someone who attempted to, if you're gonna sit there and pretend that this was anything else but because of logistical reasons, you're fucking lying to yourself. You're fucking lying to yourself. And also, I love how the people who have been sitting here causing most of the problems are out here apologizing and sucking each other off, trying to console each other for having caused the problem themselves, for having created and manifesting destiny by themselves. I'm done. Moving on. We're moving on.
Seems like a pretty big flaw. Truly, don't overthink it. It's because she's a woman, she's a black woman. Don't overthink it. In fact, don't think about it at all.
And Kamala Harris lived up to our dreams. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. She ran a remarkable 107-day emergency campaign full of joy and hope.
Kamala Harris was the perfect candidate, and she ran a beautiful campaign of joy, empathy, and unity. Joy and empathy.
Joy and empathy and unity doesn't say anything about what you're gonna fucking do when you get into office, for fuck's sake! Oh my god. I can't stand these people. I don't care about unity. I don't care about empathy. I don't care about any of this shit. What the fuck are you gonna do when you get into office? Oh, I'm gonna talk about feelings. Fuck you. I'm done.
And unity doesn't motivate people to go to the polls. No wonder Republicans had incredible turnout and so many Democrats stayed home. This isn't Steven's universe. You just can't, like, joy and empathy and unity your way out of not being able to afford food for your family. CNN has a story titled, Where the Harris Campaign Went Wrong. Nope, I won't read it. Harris ran a great campaign. The story should be titled, Where the American People Went Wrong. La la la.
Yes, let's blame the American people for your own inadequate and honestly rather ridiculous, robust attacks on the entire American population. Specifically the demographics who actually bother to vote, which are particularly male. You want to know how you failed? I want you to look at every tweet you ever made ever, and you tell me what the fuck was the problem.
La, I can't hear you. La 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 la. I can't hear.
I love how she made this into. I love how she made the meme. She made the meme. I had suggested it. I had stated it. I had made the joke about it. She has turned it into a meme. This is why I watch you, Shu. See, you understand. You have the same mental process that I do, and this is why I watch your content.
Hear you. It's not me. It's you. La 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 la. The cope is unreal here. They don't even want to listen to criticism.
They never do. You try to present criticism, legitimate facts about why things could possibly go badly for them, why things are constantly fucked, and they're just like, I don't fucking care. You're a bigot. It's like, what the fuck is criticism to you? We've been telling you for years what the problems were, and you have consistently and utterly fumbled the goddamn bag. It's like, how do you want to fix problems? And we just call it racist until it dies. There's no saving these people. It's why I'm saying that if you're the kind of person who donates to the fund, you're the kind of person who doesn't deserve to make decisions.
They really think they did absolutely nothing wrong. They only see this as a Trump win and not a Democrat failure. Kamala Harris was...
Well, yeah, because they all live in a fucking vacuum. It's the MGS2 meme of like, oh, they all live in their little ponds, only leaking out what truth suits them. It's like, that's exactly who these people are. They are the fucking ignorant idiots, the masses, who deserve to be fucking ran by an AI. It's fucking Kojima is a goddamn mad lad for fucking predicting this shit, because that's exactly what this is all spun into. And it's... You could not come up with a better meme than MGS2 for this shit, because that's exactly what these people are. If you have any different opinion other than, yeah, slay queen, you get fucking blocked. And it's like, how the fuck did you fuck this up? Oh, how did this not happen? How did we fail? Oh, we didn't fail. The American people failed us. It's like, there's no helping you. There is no saving you. You people are fucking... You people are fucked. I'm done. Moving on.
...is not a flawed candidate. America is a flawed country. This incredible tweet here is from Shannon Watts, who is on the board of Emerge America, which is an organization that, quote, shows Democratic women how to run for office. Yeah, we're never getting a fee.
Oh boy, and the person who runs that shit is the kind of person consulting on how to get women into office? Damn, sounds like a glowing endorsement to me. Hey ladies, if any women are ever watching this, which that's fucking unlikely to happen, maybe, possibly, you know, there you go. Go fucking do it. Go run. Go message these people. Why not join the company? You will definitely get into office, and don't think for a fucking second you can't, because these people are nepotistic as shit. If you could find the right person to talk to, you could carry your way into office. It's happened before. I swear to God, that's the only reason why I can go online right now and find some random fucking rotund-looking black chick stomping her feet in front of a great court judge about some stupid shit that, honestly, she's there to get lectured at, not the other way around, but God be it for me to fucking sit there and think that a congressional woman, a black woman, should ever be lectured by a crusty-ass white dude who has been doing it for longer and is literally in a position of actual authority and power. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ. I can't. It's like, it's a daycare. It's a fucking daycare. Congress and the federal government. It's just one giant daycare for old people, and the old people are just like, I don't fucking care. Let somebody else deal with it, right? I'm done. Fucking done. Moving on.
Female president.
Joe Biden's been a phenomenal president. He's lived up to so many of the promises he's made. There's one promise left that he could fulfill, being a transitional figure. He could resign the presidency in the next 30 days, make Kamala Harris the president of the United States.
Whoa.
He would absolve her.
Wow. What the f*** is this Make-A-Wish president shit? Like she's a little kid who wants to play pretend. Oh, just let her for a few days. What? Please tell me we're not gonna get the first female president out of pity. Well done, America. You failed them both. The people cannot let politicians down. That's not how this works. As a politician, you are not owed anyone's vote. You have to earn it, and evidently she didn't earn it.
Yeah, I wonder why. Probably because she didn't have a fucking plan to fix anything. Like the crippling fucking economy issues that are preventing people from actually being able to save money. I need to preface, by the way, that the only reason why I have a channel and why I have a VTuber model, among other things, is because I live with my parents. I literally live with my folks. I don't have to pay squat to the government when it comes to housing or rent. It is a massive difference. Massive difference. It is the only reason why I have these things. If I did not have these things, I would not have a savings account. But far be it for me to spit legitimate sense. Whatever. Moving on.
We already went through this in 2016. Donald Trump beat both female candidates. Donald iron sealing Trump. It's not our fault the female candidates you're putting up are dog shit. Give us some good female candidates and maybe people will vote for them. At this rate, the first female president is going to be a Republican. Mark my words, it's bound to happen. And if it doesn't happen, this was a joke. One of the groups that showed up overwhelmingly for Trump was Latinos. One of the major stories of the results is the significant surge.
You want to know one of the first tweets that came out as a result of Trump winning? Was like not even like maybe an hour after he won. Someone had posted a tweet, and the tweet was by some unhinged fucking Democrat on Twitter. Some fucking left-wing nutcase who is just like, the Latinos did not support us. The Hispanics did not support us. We fought hard for these people to get into positions where they can actually vote, and they didn't vote for us. Now I don't care if they do. And I'm paraphrasing, but I am quoting this legitimately. You can go find it for yourself. Somewhere out there on the internet, they literally said, okay, and I paraphrase this quote, I do not care if you people get deported. Complete mask off. They literally said, and I paraphrase the quote, I do not care if you get deported now. That is the most masked off thing I had ever heard. And if you wanted to know if these people are truly the moral saviors they claim themselves to be, there it fucking is. The absolute truth, the absolute reality. These people are fucking liars, they are charlatans, and they only care about you about as far as they could fucking throw you at a thing, right? As far as they could beat people over the head with the cudgel that says Hispanic and Latino rights. You are nothing more than numbers and a convenient tool for them. I'm making the same comparison again. The left is the ecclesiarchy, and the Twitter pugnates are the inquisitors. They are the literal inquisition, and they have come for your goat. Fuck them.
Surge in support for Trump among Latino voters. Trump nearly erased the Democratic advantage in this group, narrowing the gap from 33 points to just 8. Democrats gonna build the wall 50 times higher after that one. We have to have a very, very uncomfortable conversation about Latino voters in this country. Me watching him deport the Latinos and the Arab Americans after they voted for him.
It's even worse. Look at that. Look at that. She's already posting the meme. She's already posting the quotes, the GIFs. All right, I made the mention of it earlier, but here it fucking is. She's got the evidence right here. It's all right here. It could be, no, but she could have fucking she clearly blotted out the name, so clearly she's fucking like altering things. She's editing the images and the context to possibly mean something more nefarious. She might even be misrepresenting the actual quotes and tweets and memes themselves. And it's like, well, first off, why the fuck would they need to do that when they've already been memeing? They've already turned themselves into a meme. It wouldn't take a whole lot to do that. All right? They're doing it to them fucking selves. Secondly, it would be really fucking stupid and annoying to go through the process of being like, "Hey, I'm a Democrat. I am a member. I am a Democratic voter. Here is the Democrats as presented and why I fucking despise them." And then she posts all this shit. You think if she liked her own party and she thought her party had their own good points, right? She would, be showing us the good points of the Democratic Party? Of course she would. If there were good things to talk about, she probably would be doing that, but she isn't doing that. All right? She isn't doing that, and instead we're getting exposed to the literal cesspool of the internet, which is the left-wing extremism. These fucking morons who think that they know how the world works when they actually don't, and they just sit at home all day, and they have jobs basically moderating for some stupid people, or they're just the Trump reply guys or some other things, right? Or, they're garbage journalists whose only job it is to basically get paid pittance to essentially look up shit on the internet and then regurgitate what they find in a stupid fucking, just fucking politically leaning sort of manner. And it's like, you would think, right? There would be some sense to this, right? There isn't. There is no sense to this. We've been watching it for years now. All right, as someone who's 29 years old, we've been watching this shit for years. It's 2016, for fuck's sake. It has not gotten any better. It has actually gotten kind of worse. And it's not going to get any better until they actually grow a fucking pair, pick themselves up by their bootstraps. Oh, that's a funny saying. I wonder where I heard that one from. And then they actually bother to address the issues that are crippling the country that has nothing to do with diversity or inclusion, and just fix the goddamn problems that are fundamentally wrong with the country itself and its populace, rather than the populace themselves. Anyways, moving on.
And Cinco de Mayo.
To all you Latinos that voted for Trump, I hope he mass deports you and your entire family.
Oh wow, that's amazing. That's even worse. That's even worse. So it went from like I am indifferent. I could not give a shit from your mass deportations to I hope you get mass deported. Fucking hypocrites, I tell you. I want a big old hypocrite sign. That's what I want for the fucking Democratic Party. I just want it. I want one. I just want a big ass sign that says massive fucking hypocrite, please don't vote for my fucking party.
Whether you were here legally or not, you gotta go.
I know for a fact that most Latinos for Trump have undocumented family members. So if you know of a Latino who voted for Trump, I urge you to call this number and report said family members.
Damn. Just literally just like, hey, you voted for Trump? Here's the number. Call the Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Let's get them fucking deported because they didn't vote the way I liked. Again, you could not make more memes of this even if you tried. It's like, you want to know why the left can't meme? It's because they are the meme. They are the meme from which we consume. It's why the conservatives don't even have to try. It's because they themselves become the meme, and all we have to do is just repost it. It's like, how the fuck do you fuck this up? And by the way, I would be considered a conservative by these people. I would be considered right-wing by these people. And so because of that, I just automatically assume that I'm going to be a part of this argument as, oh, you're just a fucking Islamophobe, you're a conservative, you're just a right-winger, you probably voted Republican. Well, technically I was going to, and I did. But I'm not actually a member of the fucking Republican Party. I am a literal documented libertarian. It is, I can't stand this. I can't stand these people. But that won't matter to these people. They're just gonna call you what they think you are, and then even if you convince them that technically you're not this thing, they're just gonna be like, oh well, you're just pretending to be a libertarian. You just want to pretend that you're libertarian so you can infiltrate our ranks, and then try to convince us to vote the other way, or somehow like fucking like I don't know, like spread your virus, your disease, your mental virus of the conservative right-wing extremist bullshit into our communities. And it's like, I don't care. You think I have nearly the same level of care and scruples that you people do? You think I put that much energy into this shit like you do? I don't. I do not care. I could not care. I could not care even if you paid me. That's how little I care. To quote a famous abridged series, a quantum supercomputer calculating for 1,000 years could not arrive to the answer of how many fucks I do not give. And I am paraphrasing that quote also. It is, I do not care. I have probably said some things, even in this very video, that is probably factually wrong, and I do not care, because this world's a fucking... politics are a joke. We live in fucking clown world right now, in case you didn't know. Nothing makes sense. Nobody talks about sensible things. Everyone's a clown. Dance to the amusement of your own political allies. This guy even looks like a monkey. Actually, that's probably gonna get me. That's probably gonna get me fucking... I mean, look at him. He looks like a fucking clown. He's the kind of person you probably would expect to be a clown. Because everything that he does is performative, and you can tell that just by how well kept he is. Look at him. Look at him. This is the kind of people we're dealing with. These are the kind of people we're dealing with. We're dealing with literal fucking idiots. We are dealing with the useful idiots. And then there are the liars, the charlatans, and then there are the people who are just easily beguiled into doing stupid shit. And people who look like this are usually stupid. They usually are stupid. I probably shouldn't say things like this, because I don't know this guy. I don't know what kind of life he lives. I don't know who he is. I don't know what he does for a living. But he clearly should not be out here posting videos, making content of this nature, because he looks like a fucking hypocrite. And not only that, because I'm sure he's probably been all about supporting Latinos, gays, among other things, right? This right here makes him look like a massive fucking hypocrite. And the fact that he doesn't realize, the fact that he has this severe lack of self-awareness is a testament to the idiocy on display. I have no doubts that he's probably said something along those lines in the past, and so this video makes him look like a massive hypocrite. But we're moving on before I potentially say something that's going to put me in a fucking... that's going to potentially get me in trouble by Great Daddy YouTube. Or, I'm sorry, fucking Susan is the great mother of YouTube. Fucking Mother YouTube is going to get on my ass about some stupid shit if I say anything too severe, so we're moving on.
Donald Trump's strongest soldiers. Spiteful liberals.
A district that's 97% Latino went 75 percentage points for Donald Trump. Why?
Misogyny.
It's on the border. The border crisis is on their doorstep. And they were begging people to care about it for years. We need to take some less.
That's what that was.
Another demographic for people that overwhelm.
It's on the border. The border crisis is on their doorstep. And they were begging people to care about it for years. We need to take some less.
That's what that was.
Another demographic.
I love how the cackling witches of the view, which is also a coin term by ShoeOnHead, try to dismiss everything just by saying, oh, well, it's clearly sexism, racism, and misogyny. It's like, oh yeah, I wish I could brush all of my problems under a rug by just simply claiming my racism, my misogyny. It's like, I'm so done with this shit. The political and societal elite do not care about this country. They never did. And if you literally believed, if you had lulled yourself into thinking that they did, you need to get your head checked. They do not care. They've never cared. And the good majority of them are on the Democratic side of the aisle. Do not vote liberal. Do not vote Democrat. If you do, you are just feeding into the continued decay of the country. I don't care about the right. I don't care about conservatives. I took a personality and morality test that says I lean conservative predominantly, but I do not care about their policies or ideas about things. I want things to make sense. Okay? I just want things to make fucking sense. I want things to go back to making fucking sense. I like things to go back to the way they used to be, which is that people had more money, more job opportunities, and more opportunities to get ahead in life instead of people climbing the corporate ladder and then taking the ladder out from under them. I want people to have legitimate benefits to things. And that's not happening. I recently got one of my insurances, one of my company benefits rejected by my beneficiaries because they said that your benefits your expenses did not meet within our beneficial guidelines, so we expect you to pay for these things yourself and in full. And it's like, oh really? Why the fuck do I have you then? Why the fuck do I have you? If I can't even expect my company benefits to account for any of my medical, dental, or car-related, or any type of expense, or accident expense, whatever it is, right? If I can't expect you to actually pay for the things that need paying, that I just simply cannot do myself, or because I don't want to spend an exorbitant amount of funds just to pay for it, why the fuck do I have you? Why do I have you? Why do I have you? Why am I sending a portion of my paycheck to filling your dumbass's coffers? I swear to God, if that letterhead came to me a little before October, I would have just opted out of it entirely. If you're not going to pay for my expenses, you don't need my money. You don't deserve my money. Go fuck yourself. Anyways, that's my 2 cents on my personal life and my daily bullshit. Moving on.
For people that overwhelmingly showed up to vote against Kamala were Muslims. In a Michigan-specific poll of 502 registered Muslim voters, Stein got 59% support, followed by Trump at 22%, and Harris with a tiny 14% of the vote. The results show significant backlash to the Biden administration's handling of Israel's brutal war in Gaza, which has killed at least 43,508 Palestinians, including more than 16,765 children, as well as how the Harris campaign chose to tackle the issue. So how exactly did they tackle that issue? Why, sending that old pervert freak Bill Clinton up to Michigan to talk down to Muslims about Palestine.
I understand why young Palestinian and Arab Americans in Michigan think too many people have died. I get that. But
Muslims really said, we hate you more than the guy that talked about a Muslim ban. Just a side note, look at this fucking guy. It's like he hasn't had his daily dose of adrenochrome in a week. Someone get...
Forget that. This guy doesn't look like he's ever moisturized a day in his life. And mind you, I don't moisturize a whole lot either. But if I look like that, and I saw that in the mirror, I probably would start. This man needs to go see a dermatologist.
This man a fresh child stat. Muslims, Latinos...
My man Bill Clinton needs that child sacrifice. Fucking I love the memes. I love the memes so much.
Who else are we gonna blame? Ah yes, women. Yes, Trump improved with young men, but he drew in young women too.
Wow, look at that. 52% of all women who look like me are stupid.
Despite making abortion the #1 issue in her campaign, despite Brat Summer, despite the White Women for Harris Zoom calls, and most of all despite the Taylor Swift endorsement, Harris only managed to get +8 with women. Despite it all, many women came out to support Trump, especially Gen Z women. In 2020, 30% of young women voted for Trump. In 2024, 40%.
Imagine that. Gen Z women pulling up. They're pulling up. Maybe they aren't fucking stupid and as lost and as far gone as the fucking millennial women are. I had to make a deep sigh on that one because I can't even touch this topic with the millennial women without just having to think of the amount of times they have utterly fucked us with their nonsense about feelings and needing to cater to everyone, to make everyone feel like they're represented and fair. It's like they literally wrote the book on this shit, and it started in the schools. As someone who came out of that Californian standard education system, I can attest to this. It's garbage. It is dog shit. It is absolute garbage, and they fucked it. I don't know if we could blame the women specifically, because I don't know where they got the idea for it, but I'm assuming because they're usually the caring and more nurturing of the sexes, they probably just came up with it themselves. And because there's more women in schools than there are male teachers, it only makes sense that they would be the ones making most of the executive decision making, and it would make sense that they are the ones making most of those kind of executive decisions about how we actually go about child rearing in schools. And they technically don't need a child rearer in school, by the way. They just need to teach them how to know the difference between fucking, like, a plus and a minus, and what times tables are, and what a PEMDAS even is. Oh, I'm sorry, a GEMDAS, because they keep changing that shit, too. It's probably something else now. I have no fucking idea. They can't seem to make heads or tails of God's language to save their lives. I certainly can't. I don't expect them to. Moving on.
Percent of young women voted for Trump. In fact, so many women voted for him that women on TikTok started wearing blue bracelets to signal to other women that they were one of the good ones who didn't vote for Trump.
All right, whatever.
I'm buying as many blue beads and blue hearts as I can, and I'm gonna make bracelets so we know who we can trust.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely going to help you. That's definitely going to help you. It's not ever going to be bought or commandeered at all by those sneaky millennial women who are actually conservative and are just pretending to be among you. Ooh. That's how much of a joke these people are. That's how much of a joke these people are. They genuinely think that people on the other side of the aisle are a legitimate threat. They are your fucking neighbors. Oh yeah, your neighbors are conspiring against you to want to ruin your life and intentionally cause your downfall. That's totally something they want to do. That's absolutely what they're all about. In fact, that's why most Gen Z women voted for Trump, apparently, is because, we wanted to make sure that every woman gets put in their place, and they're going straight back to the kitchen, right? It's going to be fucking the Handmaid's Tale again? We're going back, well, not even again, it never really happened, but we're going straight to the fucking Handmaid's Tale, or whatever the fuck it was, right? That's the one that they keep hounding on about, that, that's our future if we let the conservatives win. It's like, nah, bitch, you had from 2016 to 2020 for that shit to happen. Did it happen? No? Well, then shut the fuck up.
Anyway, some young women in response to Trump's victory are starting to get into the 4B movement. A movement started in South Korea. Basically,
it sounds possibly stupid.
MGTOW for women.
Oh yes, because that's exactly what we needed. To further divide the nation and the sexes even further by creating movements that are running counterproductive against one another. Man, I'm going to be surprised if we ever have children in the future.
Giving up on dating men, having sex with men, having babies, marriage, whatever.
Straight women, this is the time to look into the 4B movement. You do not need a man, I promise. Doing my part as an American woman by breaking up with my Republican boyfriend last night and officially joining the 4B movement this morning. Great. It looks like you don't need him. You have a pet to basically fulfill all of your child rearing needs. Congratulations.
We are taking coochie off the table indefinitely.
Cancel all future plans with men. 4B is where it's at. Use their own stupid traditional views against them. Say that you don't want sex before marriage. Say that you are waiting for the right man. They will be seething because they are sexually dependent on women who they call sluts. See, this is the best angle. No sex before marriage. Give them what they voted for.
I cannot, I literally cannot say it enough. We are living in clown world, and nothing makes sense. I need a break. I will be right back. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to get... Okay, yeah. This case working. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to go grab a root beer for this, because I don't think I can sit down and listen to this any longer without some type of cold beverage in my hand. 1 second. I kind of knew this might happen. We're already an hour and 20 minutes into the video. Might as well stick for the long haul, am I right? So let me get this straight. All right. Let's get this straight, all right? Women's idea for counteracting stupid traditional views of sexism is by gaining self-respect and waiting to have sex until after the marriage. That's the idea. Their idea is to wait until they are married before they have sex as a punishment. Okay. I mean, you should have been doing that from the fucking start, but you know, that the fucking good on you for actually gaining some fucking sense. That's great. I'm glad that they're finally starting to come around, right? They're finally starting to come around on the ideas that, you know, maybe we shouldn't be sleeping with every penis creature under the sun simply because they look handsome enough, right? Simply because they have money, they have looks, and they know how to talk their way through and talk their way around a room, right? No. We should just stop having sex entirely until we find the right guy we want to be with. That'll show them. They're fucking... you know what? I'm just gonna say it. Women are fucking retarded. They're fucking retarded if this is the new idea and standard that they're going with. The left-leaning female, the left-leaning woman, is the most emotionally and mentally stunted of all the vaginal creatures. And they, too, probably do not deserve to be making decisions. Granted, I would never argue that women cannot make their own decisions, but I have met a few where it's just like, I don't know if you should be allowed to be out of the house without adult supervision. But goddamn, if this right here isn't an argument for the idea and reason why I believe there are some women on this planet who do not deserve to make their own decisions. You know what they call this, by the way? You know what they call this right here? These Reddit posts, these tweets right here? These Reddit posts right here? You know what they call these? They call this fatherless behavior. Because a father could have told you this. A fucking father could have told you this. This would have been one of the first lessons you would have learned. Don't have sex with every penis creature just because it's funny, just because it's fancy, just because it talks its way around the fucking ballroom. No, 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 no. Oh, save your intimate experiences for the right person, for the right people at the very least, right? You can make your mistakes here and there, but you save yourself for the right man at the right time. Any father could have told you this. Any man could have told you this. But instead, you're coming to this decision yourself because fuck men out of spite? And you think this is somehow a zinger? You think this is somehow a jab, a good fuck you? You people are stupid. And you need some help. Get some help. Please, for the love of God, get some help. I'm done.
So conservatives won the election and women are threatening to not sleep around. It kind of seems like the conservatives won a little more than just the election.
I know, right? I can't imagine why. It can't be because they're actually gonna gain some sense and scruples and not whore themselves out to every fucking person under the sun who happens to have money, fucking, dresses nicely, clearly is good at weaving their way around a conversation to get you in the sack. It's clearly, it can't be that. Fucking idiots.
I might do a whole video on the 4B movement. Tell me if you're interested in that. I don't know. Anyway, young men did come out and support Trump, and apparently for the reasons I and many others predicted. We asked young men why they voted for Donald Trump. Here's what they said. Nick Sumners, a 21-year-old cosmetic car repairman from Virginia, says he is pro-choice, but when he voted in the 2024 presidential election, he did so for Donald Trump. Despite his personal beliefs, he says that Trump talks about the American people in a way that resonates with him, without, in his opinion, faulting him for his gender and sexual orientation. I'm a straight white man, and I feel like we take the blame for a lot of things. Of course there are bad guys, he adds, insisting that he's not one of them just because he voted for Trump, but what appealed to him about Donald Trump was that his campaign was not coming after us. He was highlighting the American people, which we are. It doesn't matter what color you are, what you may identify as. Since I wasn't excluded, I resonated with it.
Oh man, what a novel concept. Donald Trump talks to people like they're people. Jesus, who could have thought, right? Man, if only Kamala knew this secret to success, the potential fucking cheat code to winning the election, it would have solved all of the problems, right? I'm done. We're moving on.
When you tell a young white guy, hey, you're an oppressor, and because you're white, you have privileges that your black and Hispanic peers didn't have, and you're inherently at fault, or you're guilty for that, which is
exactly what the white men for Kamala Harris campaign was about, right? White men in support for Kamala Harris, we're gonna give you lessons and seminars about why you're terrible, terrible people. Yeah, that was truly, it was a perfect strategy, but just a tad flawed, just a little flawed. It missed the mark just a little bit on one crucial detail, but it was perfect.
What a lot of the left wings or Democrats are saying. We're not racist, we're not misogynistic, we're just normal people. And we are friends with everyone. We're tired of hearing a lot of this BS from a lot on the far left. I feel like there's this cultural frustration that young men have that they're not allowed to be young men. I hope the male loneliness epidemic.
Why do you think I like Space Marines and 40K so much? Why do you think I love the fantasy that Warhammer 40K presents? Why do you think I like Space Marines too? Why do you think I love games that play in or around the 40K universe? Why do you think I like games like 40K? It's because it appeals to me, a demographic that no longer gets nearly the same level of attention and gravitas as we used to. What happened to the good old Gears of War days, when Gears of War used to be about war, violence, gore, and trying to survive in a world that actively hates you and wants you dead? This is the same fucking thing. In fact, I would say that fiction and society has been gearing us towards this particular issue. Only instead of it being a fucking alien force beyond our comprehension, it is our fucking neighbors. It is our fucking women. It's everyone who basically thinks of themselves as being morally and ethically correct more so than everybody else, that think they understand how the world works, who think that they are above everybody else and that they have the moral high ground. It's over, Anakin. I have the moral high ground. You underestimate the power of the individual. Oh yeah? You're a fucking bigot. No! Gets his legs cut off. Probably his PP too. I mean, if we're gonna go with the most effective measure. Anyways, moving on.
Pandemic eats you MAGA scum alive. I hope you feel a hole in your soul and feel unloved until your dying day. I hope you rot in your deathbed, wondering why women looked at you like you had rabies your whole life as your eyes closed for the last time. Unfortunately,
That's the tweet of all time. That right there. That's the tweet of all time. It would be really nice if we could actually get more of tweets like that. And it's the tweet of all time. You know, just further drive that wedge in there, right? Between the sexes. Just really jam it in there. Just really divide us even further. That's exactly what we men want. That's exactly what everybody wants, right? Clearly she wants it, so I'm all down for it. Why not? Seems to make sense to me.
the all men suck branding just isn't good for getting men to ally with you. Oh no, it can't be! Is that the consequences of my own actions? Yes, the
I love that line.
Reasonable and rational men know you aren't talking about them, but maybe it's time to realize that most men aren't reasonable and rational. How do you speak to young men when they're literally Nazis?
Wait, I need to digest this. What do you say? Unfortunately, the all men suck branding just isn't good for getting men to ally with you. Yes, the reasonable and rational men know you are talking about them, but maybe it's time to realize most men aren't reasonable and rational. What the fuck does this mean? Are you saying people who don't ally with the Democrats are just not reasonable and rational? Are you fucking retarded? Are you an idiot? Are you a stupid person? That would make sense. That would probably make sense why you're on this side of the aisle instead of the other side of the aisle. I mean, look, I'm not gonna toot the Republicans' horn here. They at least have experience with this thing. Kamala doesn't. Donald Trump has already ran in office. Kamala has not. And not only that, but when Donald Trump was in office, I still remember how good the economy actually was. It was actually good. Things were pretty inexpensive. I could walk into a grocery store and a Hormel can of chili was 97 cents. I still remember that. It's now $2. It's now almost $3 because of Biden inflation. So, no. No. You fuck the country into a hole, and you expect people to vote for you? How about you fix the fucking problems you created? And Kamala did create the problems, by the way. She was VP to Joe Biden. She was literally right there as he was signing legislation and pens and documents stating that we're going to do all of the things executively that is going to worsen the country and make it a goddamn shit show for the American people. So you shut the fuck up about any nonsense that you somehow didn't fuck this up. You absolutely did. You fucked this up royally. How could you have fucked it up harder than you have after the 2020 election? But yes, we're the unreasonable and irrational ones. Definitely.
Most men aren't reasonable and rational. How do you speak to young men when they're literally Nazis?
I don't know. I mean, let me look at my swastika. Let's see. It's telling me that having sense and having any type of decency is just fair game. I guess you just gotta continue to sleep around until eventually, you know, you find the right guy who's just unhinged enough to where they are willing to vote for you. That seems to make sense to me. Who's willing to join your movements, who's willing to smell and eat the farts that come out of the Democrats' politicians' mouth. That saying, this seems like the sensible thing, right? Let's see. My swastika tells me one thing, but my common sense tells me another thing. Oh boy, what should I do? What should I do? You know what? I like my common sense. It's gotten me through a lot of problems. It has helped me think through a lot of issues. I think I'm gonna stick with it.
Why are Gen Z males the f***ing Hitler youth? How do we get
I feel bad for you. I feel bad for you guys. All you Gen Zers out there, my heart goes out to you. You do not deserve this. You are just trying to make the best out of a bad situation, and the millennial generation fucked it along with the last one. But granted, you know, like, they didn't realize that things would spiral out of control. But granted, you know, like, I will say that the crusty abomination still in political office is... they're still the biggest contributor as to why a lot of the problems exist that they do. So that being said, that's neither here or there. Most people who are not politicians of that generation are just trying to live their lives just the same as the rest of us, you know? I'm just trying to live my life, you're all trying to live your lives, everybody's trying to live their lives, and there's just a lot of stupid people who try to justify everything under the umbrella of everyone's a Nazi. Everyone's a racist. Everyone's a bigot. Everyone's a misogynist. And it's just not true. You know it's not true. I know it's not true. But that's just how it is. And now you have to live in it. You have to live in it. You have to live in it with the rest of us. We have to live with the abscess cancer that is our current social media climate and our objectively horrible, societal standards that are being presented and set for us by morons who honestly don't know what the common folk even think or feel to begin with. But, you know, welcome to the club. We also hate Mondays.
young men to get on board with the young men eat shit and die movement? Hear me out. Maybe not calling them Hitler Youth? After the election, a YouTuber I am subscribed to uploaded a video called How the Right is Winning Young Men, and I was excited to see his take. But then it comes time to talk about men's issues, and this is how he did it.
But this is the part where I want to enter the male loneliness epidemic. I know, we're all tired of hearing.
The entire idea of the male loneliness epidemic is it's this idea that really centers men and men's feelings. The premise is quite a flawed premise to begin with.
I agree. I also, I have such mixed feelings about this. I do. Unpopular though it is on the left to like give.
I don't know. You live in a nice house. You probably have a boyfriend or girlfriend. I don't know which way you swing. I don't fucking care. But you know, the fact that I'm still living with my folks and have none of those things, not even a decent room to game on or even stream, says a lot about my living situation compared to yours, just by the mere look of it. So, and if that's most people's experiences, I don't know what else to tell you. Other than the fact that you clearly do not know anything, you probably should just politely fuck off. I don't know. They're about to say some stupid shit. I can already feel it, but you know, we're just gonna listen to it.
Grace to the male loneliness epidemic. I have mixed feelings about it. I'm picking my words carefully so the leftists don't murder me. Like, don't rake me over the coals for this, but I think that I understand as much as I can understand a heterosexual man.
Yeah, I think we found the answer to the video title.
So, even the people who are supposedly supports the party are afraid to talk about men's issues without being crucified on this hypothetical cross about even so much as touching upon actual real issues, because who gives a shit about men? Am I right? And you know that's evident. You know genuinely they don't give a shit, because we just had Men's Day not that long ago, and everyone did the usual sauna dance that happens whenever anything like Father's Day or Men's Day comes up, which is like, oh, we're just gonna shit on men the whole day because it's International Whoever's Day, right? It's an International Penis Day. And it's like, yeah, that figures. That kind of figures. I swear to God, it's like playing with fire, right? It's like playing with fire. Everyone says that men are the generation that created the world, but they're also the they're the gender that built the world, not the generation, but they are the creatures who built the world that we live in now. Imagine if they just up and decided one day, oh, let's just tear it all down and restart again, build anew. Because the men do that too. If women are the nurturers and caretakers, as well as just at times, sometimes the most irrationally and clinically insane creatures on the planet, at times, it's a monthly thing. I'm trying to be generous about that. Then men having the ability to build themselves up, tear themselves down, and the ability to tear everyone else down along with them is also a testament to the fact that not only are they the builders, they are not only the providers, the caretakers, they are also the ones who can easily just take all of that away. Immediately, instantly. And all they have to do is just decide one day, I don't give a shit. Right? Just every man decides unanimously, I don't give a shit. And they just decided, you know what? Forget laws, forget regulations, forget policies. Let's just do whatever the fuck we want. Imagine that. Imagine what anarchy would do to this country, would do to people, would do to men in particular. Then everything's fair game. Everything. Including women. And that's a scary reality. And I don't think anybody wants that. I don't think the women want that. I don't think the guys want that either. I mean, guys don't feel good about any of that shit. I mean, like, a guy would do anything to have to survive, but that doesn't mean they have to enjoy doing it, right? They have to suck up a lot of things to get shit done. But we've been doing it since the dawn of time. Women, they're just gonna have a comeuppance. If such a day were to ever come to pass, it would be the biggest comeuppance. And before long, it'd just be a real fucking shit show. So yeah, I equate to women bashing on men as their daily exercise in playing with fire. And all it takes is one guy, by the way, just one guy, to ruin everything. One guy to ruin everything. Hitler did it. Stalin did it. Everybody did it. There was at least one tyrannical dictator at some point in human history that had taken the reins and had thoroughly fucked it. And if you want to continue to play this game of fire, continue to do this man bashing, you're just going to inadvertently create the next one. Is that what you want to do? Is that what you want to do? You want to create the next fucking person who's going to take over and actually complete the mission that those other people started? Only instead of the target being like Jews or some other shit, right? They're going to just target you. I wonder why they would target you. Maybe we should take a minute to think about that. Anyways, I'm done. I'm done with this hypothetical. It makes a little too much sense, but you know, that's just me. Maybe I'm just being unreasonable and irrational.
Title. Oh, I have to pick my words carefully so my own movement doesn't attack me for caring about men's issues. You see the issue? If you can't talk about this without having to walk on eggshells in fear of your own allies ripping your head off, maybe that is part of the reason men are moving right. Also, I feel like this is really important to say. I don't think all these men are moving right. I think just a lot of them hate the Democratic Party and feel alienated from the left. So what was the overwhelming takeaway from the Democrats and the left? To actually start listening to men? No, of course not. Instead, their solution once again seems to be... We need a liberal Joe Rogan. We need a liberal Joe Rogan, ASAP. We need a left-wing Rogan. Democrats are gonna keep losing until they have their own Joe Rogan, their own Elon Musk, until they create their own alternative to Fox News. People saying Harris should have...
I mean, you kind of have one in the form of a Hassan Abi. I mean, you want a Joe Rogan, there he is. I'm sure if you paid Logan Paul or Jake Paul enough, they probably do it too. They're just fucking unhinged enough to do it. You could probably even get away with that if you were to fucking, I don't know, make one yourself, I guess. You could just find somebody who's dumb enough to do it, and you have no easy, you don't have exactly the most difficult pool of people to work with. There's a lot of useful idiots among you. You can easily just elect someone, and they could just be like, sure, I'll fucking do it, and then they'll do it. Again, you have a pool of useful idiots. Your party has been using them for years. Might as well, right? Just go on Twitter and pick one. It's easy. It's simple.
Have done Joe Rogan are missing the point. That wouldn't have helped her. Liberals need to build their own Joe Rogan. Oh my god, we need a liberal Joe Rogan. You had a liberal Joe Rogan. His name was Joe Rogan. But he was too edgy, too problematic.
He was? Joe Rogan was liberal? At one point? Wow. That's some lore I did not know. Nor did I care to know, but now that I know it, that's kind of funny.
Too many no-no words, talk to too many no-no people about no-no topics, and in 2020, when Bernie Sanders went on his podcast and Joe endorsed him, the Democrat journalist class freaked the out and smeared him for weeks. The left can't have a Joe Rogan, because class freaked the
Man. It's, I have no words. I literally have no words.
out and smeared him for weeks. The left can't have a Joe Rogan, because everything that makes Joe Rogan, is not allowed on the left. Kamala Harris ditched Joe Rogan podcast interview over progressive backlash fears.
Oh, no wonder why we never got that interview. It also could be because, she set unreasonable demands and expectations on behalf of the Joe Rogan podcast, and Joe Rogan was like, nah, you're gonna come to my place, and you're gonna follow my regulations, or you could just fuck off. And she did. Because he handed her the requirements. He handed her the memorandum of what he needed and what he wanted with this interview. And she said, nah, fam, I'm just gonna piece the fuck out. You know who did go on it? Donald Trump. That had, what was it again? 48 million views the first day it was posted? Man, I wonder what would have happened if Kamala went on. You think a lot of people would have showed up for that one? Maybe. On the one podcast that is proportionally speaks to a lot of young men, according to metrics. Whatever.
So Joe Rogan was too problematic, but Liz Cheney was fine? Listen, you don't need a leftist Joe Rogan or liberal Joe Rogan. You just need leftists and liberals to go on Joe Rogan. And that means not giving a shit about being canceled by your own movement.
Look, you can have an argument with Rogan, agree with him, disagree with him, but what's the problem going on those shows? I got vilified by some of the Democratic establishment because I went on Rogan's show. Now,
yeah, you got vilified by some of those people because they're fucking stupid. Again, we have stupid people in office and in places of executive authority. That's why the country is in the state that it's in.
a lot of other people are doing just that.
Anyways, liberals should start doing podcasts and TikToks and whatever aimed at setting the youth straight. Ah yes, there's nothing the youth enjoy more than being set straight.
We don't have the equivalent of Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson to move that man in a feminist direction. By the way, we should educate men that it's actually really great to live with a strong woman who makes money. It's actually easier. Life is easier.
There is a thing going around on the VTubing community called hag maxing, and it is an idea that I am not exactly, I'm not too, adverse to. As a 29-year-old myself, I'm practically in the middle age bracket almost, just about. The idea of hag maxing doesn't seem like it's off the table for myself. I would not mind it at all. The only problem, of course, is that do hags want me? And I think the most easiest assertion would be fuck no. So I'm not even thinking about it, nor am I going to bother doing it. And plus, if we look at every metric under the sun, women would rather be earning more, would rather have a man that earns more than they do, so that way they could just quit their jobs and just stay at home all the time. So there's that too. Moving on.
We're going to be under Republican rule for the next 100 years, aren't we? Trump's win leaves Democrats asking, where are our bro whisperers? We have to make entertaining, engaging content that men want to watch and care about. Then, over time, you pepper in more progressive views. So you want to start a normal podcast and then start sprinkling in propaganda? Should you even be saying this out loud?
I mean, why not? They've been going on mask off for a good while now. Might as well continue to let them, right? I mean, they're telling us exactly how they're thinking and how they're going to operate. Might as well. It's the closest thing we'll ever get to them actually having a fucking plan or agenda to do anything outside of outright fixing actual problems. But that's also neither here or there.
Dems need to seriously put all their money into creating propaganda networks to compete with the right's massive amount of propaganda. Democrats need their own propaganda machine, and I'm not even joking a little bit. First of all, again, I don't think we need better propaganda is something you should be saying out loud. Second of all, Democrats already have that, and have had it for decades. It's called Hollywood. It's called every celebrity, every institution, every piece of media, from movies to video games. Every celebrity from Beyonce to Taylor Swift endorsed her. She had Cardi B at all her rallies. She got the fucking Avengers together.
Hi, you guys. Hi, Avengers.
Hey, Scarlet. Wow, Trump is literally Thanos. By the way, with all these journalists and people talking about how we need a liberal Andrew Tate, a liberal Joe Rogan, yeah, be prepared to see some of the most forced, overproduced, astroturfed streamers and YouTubers to pop up overnight and subtly or not so subtly start shilling for the Democratic Party. You're gonna start seeing funded DNC plants all over YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, because they really do think the answer to all of this is more podcasts. All the funding in the world won't buy you an audience.
Yes, the good old argument of quantity over quality. That's absolutely the way you're gonna have to go about this, huh? Joe Rogan's only as popular as he is because he actually talks about real issues. And he talks about things that people actually give a shit about. What are your podcasts going to do? Touch on topics and then just let it simmer? Just never address it ever again? Like you normally do? That's bound for success? That sounds like money to me. Go for it.
You could have $1 million set and the best sound and video equipment ever, but it will not buy you a large and dedicated audience. I've been using a Mac laptop webcam and a shitty snowball mic for over 10 years, and you idiots keep coming back for some reason. And
Ow. Fuck you too. I'm only here because I enjoy the content. I mean, I suppose that does make me a bit of a weirdo, doesn't it? But you know what? That probably tells you a couple of things, doesn't it? If a guy can sit here and listen to a normal-ass white girl just rant and rave about politics in a way that isn't patronizing or like you're being talked down to, that probably tells you a few things about the state of the nation, doesn't it? So I look at this in two ways. I look at this as like, yeah, this might be kind of questionable, but at the same time, it's like, we live in clown world, so fuck it, right? I mean, where else am I going to get sensible conversation pieces? I mean, fucking Twitter? Reddit? No. I think Shoe's fine.
And listen, it's 2024. Y'all have a camera and a microphone. Be the liberal Joe Rogan you want to see in the world. But
it's the literal meme of just learning to code. It's the literal meme, just the literal meme of just learning to code. And the left heard that and they're just like, these guys are fucking racist and they're misogynists. It's like, no, just fucking do your job. Just literally do your job. Oh, what's that? Your job's going out of practice. You're a journalist. You're a games journalist who's constantly having to scrape by because your company, your news company, doesn't want to put more money into you because they're also hemorrhaging money. Man, what are you gonna do? Oh, I guess I'm just gonna have to build a dedicated audience through the craft of promoting news and then take that audience into something more independent, like, I don't know, starting the YouTube channel? Nah, that's too sensible, right? That's too sensible. It's it's not like people haven't done that already.
Thing is, if people can hear your opinions when they turn on the TV, they're not gonna watch your shit. People tune into alt media to hear alt opinions. Even the most popular leftist streamers, like Hassan for example, spend a lot of time criticizing the Democratic Party. So it's gonna be hard to build some kind of like Democrat shill Joe Rogan. But
Hassan criticizes the Democrat Party? I would not know because I don't watch his content, but that's kind of funny if that's actually his shtick, is that he constantly criticizes the Democrat Party for being unable to do anything. That might actually make me want to watch him. But at the same time, I don't give a shit, so why would I? God, what a fucking world we live in.
I can't wait to see you try. After the election, one of the only politicians I've seen who is actively trying to understand why people voted the way that they did is AOC. When I met her, I whispered into her ear, "Take the pronouns out of your bio." Who is actively trying to understand why people voted the way that they did is AOC. When I met her,
Oh my god. That's her with AOC? Oh wow. That's kind of funny, actually. Bernie 2016. Oh, she met... This was back in 2016. That's funny. That's actually funny. She met AOC all the way back then, before she became the deranged sycophant that she was? Jesus. Or at least the most popular one that people knew about. That's kind of funny. Is she wearing overalls? This entire getup is actually kind of fly. It's like a good casual vibe. I wish more women would dress like ShoeOnHead. She actually knows how to dress casual, unlike most women, and make it work. It's kind of weird how that is, actually. That's kind of weird that I have to say that too, but it's true. It's either you dress in a tank top and short shorts, or you wear fucking yoga pants and a fucking sweatshirt. And granted, she's wearing a sweatshirt, but she still knows how to make it sleek with a nice t-shirt. She's literally being cute while being modest. Why can't women do this, huh? Why can't any of you do this? That's weird that I have to say that. That's weird that I have to make this kind of comparison, but you get the point. You get the point.
I whispered into her ear, "Take the pronouns out of your bio." And she did. My influence.
I don't know about that. I'm pressing next to that on that.
Anyway, after the election, AOC found out that a ton of people voted for her down ballot, but also voted for Trump for president on the same ticket. Curious, she took to her Instagram to ask people why they did that. And these were some of their answers. "I feel like Trump and you are both real. It's real simple. Trump and you care for the working class. But also you signified change. Trump signified change. I've said lately, Trump sounds more like you. Loved ones say you're both straightforward in challenging corruption and broken government. Because it's different than what has been the last 4 years. Something had to go. I feel that you both are outsiders compared to the rest of DC and less establishment. Voted Trump, but I like you and Bernie. I don't trust either party establishment politicians." The replies, of course, were full of people like, "These idiots, these morons, these fools, most depressing shit I've ever seen. These people sound dumb as hell. Such staggering ignorance and stupidity. The median voter, I hate the median voter. I want to destroy the median voter. Why is the median voter this stupid? I hate the median voter. How could this be
Literal NPC behavior. See, this is why you are a perpetual armchair on Twitter. Get fucked, scrub.
real? Americans really are the dumbest gentlemen on earth. This is giving me a headache. I don't understand the median voter. Listen, it's really not that hard to understand. It's populism, honey. It's why when I went to January 6th and told a bunch of boomers I was a Bernie supporter, a ton of them reacted like this.
I think he's one of the few honest people I think he's honest. He beat Hillary Clinton, and he would have beat Joe Biden, too.
People hate empty suits that sound like they're constantly reading from a script. They want someone who...
Abso-fucking-lutely. And this is why Kamala lost, is because she had no plan, no initiative. All she had were promises, and people saw that shit and they're like, nah, fam, we're going straight back to Trump. We're going straight back to Trump on this one. You people are fucking idiots. And the armchair Twitter repugnants can go fuck themselves right into a black hole if they want to. Because that's exactly where they're going. That's where all their opinions go, is through one ear and out the other and into a black hole. You people have literally fucked yourselves. And everyone is going to sit back and watch the fucking dumpster fire that it is. You can all go retreat to your blue sky if you want to, but it's not going to change the fact that you motherfuckers are some of the most out of touch. I'm not, no, I'm done. I've wasted all of my insults. I've wasted a lot of energy just talking about this shit, so we're done.
Who tells it like it is. Someone who fights for the everyman, or at least sounds like they do.
How are you feeling about Trump's upcoming presidency, Trump 2?
I voted for him.
Oh, you like AOC?
Yeah.
Did you vote for her?
Yeah. Remember one thing about why people voted for Trump. They want change.
The average American voter despises the establishment and will vote for anyone who...
I know, I do too. I hate crusty abominations who literally sit around and do nothing all day, eating ice cream, talking about their 2 scoops, and then regaling us with all of their corn pop stories. I totally love that. I love that shit, but apparently a lot of people don't. I don't understand why, but it must be that it's just not appealing to normal Americans. I guess being relatable is hard. If you have a nice house and are constantly being fed money like it was a fucking vaccination every week for stupid shit. Don't even get me started on the literal mandates. That shit was bound to come back and bite you in the ass. By the way, ever since I got that vaccination, by the way, every now and again, I did not know this was a thing, but every now and again, I can expect now that my arm will get so sore that any attempt for me to raise it above shoulder level will literally hurt so bad that I'll literally have to stop trying to do that for at least a few days. I am literally handicapped in one arm every good few years or so because of mandates. Because I needed a job. So, don't you fucking tell me that those fucking mandates and that those vaccinations, quote unquote, were helpful or really did anything and did not set a precedent. Because I can guarantee you that the next time it comes around, I won't just not do it. I will actively tell other people not to do it, and I will tell anyone who tries to get me to do it to go fuck themselves. And if I get fired, I will fucking stop caring. I'll just be like, okay. I hand them the badge, I hand them the vest, and I walk the fuck out. I do not care. Go fuck yourself.
Promises to destroy it. And the fact that none of you understand this is a big reason why you lost and will continue to lose until you do understand it. Capiche? The beatings will continue until the populism improves. How could people have voted for this felon? How could they vote for Trump, especially after January 6th, where he led a bunch of his supporters to destroy that beautiful, shining beacon of hope? Well, first of all, you have to understand that that's...
Underneath that beacon of hope is a bunch of cracks and crevices and a lot of places where people store pot, meth, and among other things, right? And it's also oozing a black gelatinous viscousy substance that no one knows where it's coming from, but they assume that it must be coming from either the medical equipment needed to keep these crusty abominations in office, or it might be something to do with the result of the amount of diarrhea that is being expelled from their orifices. It might even be because their very existence and their congregation within this building creates a viscousy-like substance that can only be described as absolute corruption.
It's not a shining beacon of hope to most people. That is a dirty, disgusting brothel that sold out the future of their children and will probably send them into the next World War. After all...
Well, I mean, I used more explicit ideas than that, but, that paints a very vivid image, too. That gets the job done.
The indictments, the mugshots, the committees, the documentaries, people clearly don't care about January 6th. And that might scare some people, but The truth is, a politician that promises safety and affordable food can do 100 January 6s.
It's true. You can do 100 January 6s, but as long as you promise to change things and that you're actively going to fight on behalf of the people, they can get away with doing a lot of things. You have no better idea of how that would work. Much better. You have no better example of this, okay? Than the BLM movements and every other movement that has ever existed, that has protested and has ever fought for rights ever. All right? In our modern time. They got away with doing a lot of things. Some people got prosecuted. Some people didn't. Some people got the fucking, oh, we're going to throw you in and then throw you back out treatment. You know, like, there was a lot of things, right? There were a lot of problems as a result of these movements, but they were able to get away with it mostly because they had a message, and the message was peaceful, according to some. And so, that being said, we don't have to go very far back in history to know that as long as you have the correct moral high ground and messaging, you can get away with doing just about any fucking thing under the sun now, can you? You set that precedent, by the way.
It's kind of like FDR said, democracy has disappeared in several other great nations, not because the people of those nations dislike democracy, but because they had grown tired of unemployment and insecurity, of seeing their children hungry while they sat helpless in the face of government confusion and government weakness through lack of leadership. Finally, in desperation, they chose to sacrifice liberty in hope of getting something to eat. Speaking of FDR, let's talk a little bit about the guy that FDR stole a bunch of his ideas from, shall we? Someone who the modern Democratic Party should probably try and learn from. That's right, I finally found an excuse to talk about my favorite politician. The man, the myth, the legend, the kingfish himself, Huey Long. Huey Long was the 40th governor of Louisiana from 1928 to 1932. He was a populist member of the Democratic Party and rose to national prominence during the Great Depression. He took on big oil and Wall Street and drastically helped lift Louisiana out of poverty. Long had many supporters and haters, and to this day is
I love the period look that she's going with. That's so funny. Also, the amount of lipstick on display is terrifying, but, you know, that was the look back in the day, wasn't it? You want to know why women used red lipstick back in the day? A lot of it, you know, it was because of one thing. It's because red lipstick gives off the mental idea and sensation that they are single and ready to mingle. They are willing to Netflix and chill. They are ready to get down to business, you know? Just you know, get straight into choking that chicken, you know, petting that cat, you know, among other things. Washing the car. You get the point. It's I know people say that women do not do anything for you know, male attention or appeal. But, you know, your entire reason for doing anything is predominantly structured around one central mythos, right? Mentally, psychologically, you are hardwired to dress and act in a specific way for one reason. To be something that could be considered attractive. To be something that could be considered cute. Beautiful, even. So when women and men make the argument that, oh, well, women don't dress in a specific way because they want male attention, it's like, well, that might be true motivationally, but psychologically and beneath all of the nonsense that is the human anatomy and neuropsychology, you know, there lies a deeper answer, and the answer is that we are all hardwired and structured to do specific things for very specific reasons. And here's another fact: men don't get jobs, don't want to get good jobs, and don't want to get, you know, like, you know, they don't want to be good conversationalists and don't want to dress nicely because they want to. They do it because they know that's going to make them stand out from the rest of the others, right? They will say that, it makes me feel good about myself. I feel comfortable. I feel confident, right? They'll use similar arguments, but they won't disguise it as something like, oh, well, like I don't do this because I like to do, because I want female attract, I want women to look at me. I do this because it makes me feel good about myself. No. Because most men don't feel good dressing a specific way unless they genuinely get a lot of compliments and a lot of positive reactions because they do it. So if you dress and behave in a specific way, right, and you get a lot of positive affirmation for doing so, you're just going to continue to do it, right? Well, I'm sure women do the exact same shit, right? They will say the same thing. Oh, well, I do this because it makes me feel good. Well, it's like, well, why does it make you feel good? Is it because of the positive affirmation that you get from your friends, your family, your prospective mates, or is it something else? Does it make you feel good just because it makes you feel good, or is there an external factor to it? So when you really get down to it, when we really break it down, is that really an argument, or are you just coping? I don't know. The ball is in the women's court on that one.
Celebrated as a populist champion of the people, and at the same time, denounced as a fascist demagogue. To give you a better idea of who Huey was, here are some quotes from the man himself. Corrupted by wealth and power, your government is like a restaurant with only one dish. They've got a set of Republican waiters on one side and a set of Democratic waiters on the other. But no matter which set of waiters brings you the dish, the legislative grub is all prepared in the same Wall Street kitchen. The only difference I ever found between the Democratic leadership and the Republican leadership is that one of them is skinning you from the ankle up and the other from the ear down. But Huey Long wasn't some enlightened centrist, no. The man firmly had a side, and that side was the people. I'm for the poor man. All poor men. Black and white. They all gotta have a chance. They gotta have a home, a job, a decent education for their children. Every man a king. That's my slogan. When asked if he cared about the bad press he got, Huey replied, "All I care about is what the boys at the forks of the creek think of me." And when Big Oil threatened to leave Louisiana, he said, "If they gotta leave, they can go to hell and stay there." They don't make politicians like this anymore. Politicians used to be like mob bosses.
Wow. That is the most gangster politician of all time. Except that isn't technically true, because the most gangster politician of all time was Cassius Clay. If anything that the fat electrician has ever said about Cassius Clay is to be true, then man, that is one hell of a politician. This guy, he's up there. He's up there with the higher echelons of that caliber. But I don't know if he would ever barricade himself in a newspaper room and just in his own office have it set up to where there's one long corridor to go between him and the door, lined with metal sheets to make sure that no one can shoot through the walls, and then force everyone who wants to murder him, come in single file and line up to get shot at. But that's neither here or there. God, that is a most gangster politician of all time. I have never heard of something so awesome and funny at the same time.
Now they go on Call Her Daddy podcast. Sad. Huey had many powerful enemies, and because of this, he was assassinated in 1935. His last words were allegedly, "God, don't let me die. I have so much to do." There's a lot of talk online right now about how we need a Joe Rogan for the left and Andrew Tate for the left, but there's also talk about how we need a Donald Trump for the left, and well, Huey Long was exactly that. And to be completely honest, I don't think you people could handle a Donald Trump for the left. You couldn't even handle Bernie Sanders. You called him a sexist and a racist and did everything in your power to crush him and keep him down. But unlike Bernie, Huey Long wouldn't just lay down and take it. Huey Long would scare the shit out of the modern Democratic Party. But if there's anyone they need to take a lesson from, it's him. Alright, time to get out of this costume. I feel like an old hooer. It should come as no great surprise that the Democratic Party, which has abandoned working-class people, would find that the working class had abandoned them, Bernie Sanders said in a statement about the results of Tuesday's election. While the Democratic leadership defends the status quo, The American people are angry and want change, and they're right. Will the big money interest and well-paid consultants who control the Democratic Party learn any real lessons from this disastrous campaign? Will they understand the pain and political alienation that tens of millions of Americans are experiencing? Do they have any ideas as to how we can take on the increasingly powerful oligarchy, which has so much economic power? Probably not. All the groups that Sanders originally courted, young people,
Wow.
Latinos, the working class,
That is probably the most realist statement I've ever heard coming from a Democratic politician. I was never a Bernie bro. I didn't care about Bernie Sanders when he was running, and I still don't really care about Bernie Sanders that much either. But I've seen a lot of the stuff that was said about him, and I'm like, that's kind of fucked up. But I wonder if he actually earned that. Turns out he earned it because of the same reasons why the conservatives are always on a crucifix by the fucking left, right? It's because he's too fucking real for the party. He's not delusional like the rest of them. He's not a bastard. He's a goddamn realist and a cynic. At least he comes off like a cynic. But he's probably doing this because he's got hope. He's optimistic about things needing to change and that there needs to be someone in place to change them, right? And he's probably hoping that somebody somewhere is going to hear that and is going to be like, they need to do it. And then when the candidate finally shows up, he's probably going to be like, I throw all my support to this person. This person needs to succeed. He has to, for the good of America. But I don't know.
are gone. And I don't know if they're coming back. Maybe this is a one-time thing, maybe it's just because of Trump or inflation, or maybe the meme is coming true. Maybe Republicans are the new party of the working class. Democrats' working class exodus sets off reckoning within party. Democrats, who have long prided themselves as the party for the little guy, instead strengthened their emerging base of financially secure college graduates this election, while a growing number of blue-collar voters embraced Trump and Republicans. Especially alarming for Democrats this election, the exodus of working-class voters from the Democratic Party included not just white voters, but helped Trump make gains with Latino and black men. This realignment crystallized a political reality that is tough for Democrats to swallow. With blue-collar voters flocking away from their party over multiple election cycles, Democrats' refashioned base is becoming more upper-class, urban, suburban, and coastal. It's a narrowed coalition that does not bode well for future elections.
Well, to be honest, a good half of the middle class has also sipped the Kool-Aid a little too hard as well, and I think that's because, if they didn't, they probably wouldn't be in the middle class anymore, but, that's also neither here or there. Like a lot of the problems we're seeing and a lot of the people leaving is they're leaving because exactly those reasons. It's because, people are fed up with the excuses and the bullshit and the promises. They just want actual change and they want actual plans and real, actual fucking ideas as to how they're going to do that. And they have been presenting us with none of it. So, yeah, nobody cares. And yeah, the Democratic Party is the establishment elite. They are basically the aristocracy. Like, when you see the video that I have for Bolt's Gun, and I go on a big old rant about the revolution between Arabonia and the, between its two factions, which is the aristocracy and the government, it's basically for similar shit. It's over similar shit. One side is the aristocracy trying to take power away from the government and the little guy versus the other party, which is like, I'm trying to keep things in order. We're trying to fucking make the best out of a bad situation. We're also just trying to, stop stupid people from doing stupid shit, even if that means having to get a little forceful to do it. But you see the point, right? This is the world that they're creating. They're basically making Arabonia come to life in real time. And it's going to take one stupid, goofy motherfucker with a villain mustache to actually do that. And I'm not even kidding when I say that either. The main villain from the revolutionary aristocracy side of that conflict did have a evil villain twirling mustache and a goatee to go with it. Just to complete the look, right? So, yeah. Get prepared for that one.
To put things into perspective, the Trump coalition is closer to the Obama coalition than the Harris one is. That is crazy. That is wild. That is what we call a potential party switch. And I don't really care about how many leftists or Democrats cope about this. We have better union policies, we have better wages policy. Yeah, that might be true, and I agree, but we don't get to decide who the party of the working class is. The working class does. And if exit polls are anything to go by, basic left-wing economic policy is still incredibly popular. People just hate the Democratic Party. White men without college degrees are going to ruin this country. First of all, white men without college degrees built this country, bitch. Second of all, this is...
I mean, we're technically suffering through it, and we're helping to keep you fat and nicely fed, too. So, go fuck yourself, Bite the hand that feeds you, see what happens. That's not going to come back and hit you in the ass at some point. We don't have the French at all to really think of as an example for that kind of thing now, do we?
This is apparently a real Democratic Party strategist saying this. You want to know how to win 2028? Step 1. Stop listening to freaks like this. The election, if having a degree was a requirement to vote. And this is what the election would look like.
Oh, yes, because I want to put myself in indentured servitude to a college for basically being a wage slave and having to pay back an exorbitant amount of debt just to even take courses these days at a college for anything. Is totally how I want to spend my youth and my fucking middle-age years. It's like, oh yeah, people should have degrees in order to vote. It's like, you want me to be in college debt to vote? Yeah, that makes sense, because most of you fucking sickly deranged human beings probably do have one. You're probably paying them off right as we speak. So that tracks. If you're stupid enough to eat that pill, you're probably stupid enough to also believe everything else you're told.
Look like if everyone was allowed to vote. Oh wait, that's this election. I too hate democracy.
And I think Bernie Sanders is wrong. I think the more relevant question actually is, what is wrong with America?
Democrats have a smug problem.
We've been telling you for years, and you haven't been listening a single iota.
After the election, an NBC News chart circulated on Instagram that highlighting exit poll data showing that the more education you had, the more likely you would vote for Vice President Kamala Harris over President-elect Donald Trump. Some liberals used the occasion to look down upon the icky dummies who were too stupid to know they shouldn't vote for Trump.
Yes, again, we're going back to, the snobbish behavior, tooting your nose up at the fucking electorate, and then putting your fingers in your ears and going, la 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 la, I don't believe you, la 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 la. We're going back to this analogy again.
Yet Trump's victory was both definitive and diverse. He won broad swaths of the electorate, making significant gains in New York and California, and winning over larger percentages of Latino voters and young voters than in 2020. He also won a majority of first-time voters. Large factions of the left condescendingly believe that dumb people are the reason Trump won in 2016 and won again in 2024. And that patronizing, visceral vibe is obvious. It's a massive turnoff to many other voters. It is a mountain smug Democrats have to overcome if they want to reconnect with voters. Once, the coastal liberal establishment had an air of open-mindedness. But now, these elites have evolved into the provincial, narrow-minded scolds they once critiqued.
Well, yeah, because they're being supported by special interest groups and also fucking celebrities, who are, by the way, the pinnacle. They are the literal pinnacle of oligarchy behavior. They have lives so divorced from normal people that it might as well should just be considered otherworldly. They are aliens, and they even dress and parade themselves like they are one. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, the Democratic Party are not just the establishment elite, they are also the aliens trying to evade us, and are the lizard people trying to fucking turn us all into fucking, canned food products using our corpses, and instead of calling us, like corpse starch or something like that, like they do in 40K, it's just going to be something more PC, like Soylent Green. So yeah. No, fuck these people.
Their education has narrowed their worldview. Their credentialism has built themselves a bubble in which to hide from reality. The contempt many liberals and some leftists have for the working class has never been more on display than it is right now. Even coming from some leftist YouTubers I watch that I know better and spend a lot of their time trying to bring people to the left. Your college degree does not make you any smarter than a working class person without a college degree. And more importantly,
also, they operate off a different level of experience, alright? If you're someone who is successful, it's probably because you are intellectually sophisticated. If you're someone who has survived by basically being a worker bee, you probably have more wisdom and worldly experience. All right, we're working with two different dichotomies, and when two dichotomies, clash, it's usually because the smart one is constantly trying to beat their intelligence over the head of the wisecracking, funny guy who's constantly just, trying to make the best, again, out of a bad situation. It's like, you people don't seem to understand the problem here. You trying to lord over your intelligence against other people is exactly why we're in this predicament. Knock it the fuck off.
Don't talk down to a vast majority of the population, because despite how badly you want to believe it, they are not stupid. They are the people who grow your food, build your houses, pave your roads, fix the plumbing in your luxury apartments. And guess what? There are more of them than there are of you. So maybe you people should start listening to them instead of wagging your finger in their faces as if disagreeing with you is some moral failing, because it's not. These people aren't all racists and Nazis or whatever. They are.
I mean, again, we're going back to the argument of throwing rocks from glass houses. It's like, you people really are just one step away from literally having a downfall yourselves, right? Like, you gotta recognize that, right? If Ellen DeGeneres can have a literal fucking socio-political downfall, then nothing is off the table. Everything is fair game. You are all up on the chopping block, all right? The French Revolution also shows this as well. If you... The guy who built the guillotine, after executing many, many, many members of the establishment elite and government officials, including the king and queen themselves, he himself, as one of the last few people on God's green earth you would expect to be put on the chopping block, he was the last person to go. Because enough people felt morally obligated to do so because his invention had killed and taken the lives of so many people in a very public manner. And they felt like it was ethically and morally an obligation for the man himself to die. At least that's how I remember it being told to me. So the guy, whatever his name, Frenchman, guillotine guy, the Frenchman whose last name is Guillotine, the guillotine killed him. His own namesake killed him. And they did it in a public fashion. The chickens came back home to roost. And that's gonna be your futures if you're not fucking careful. But who am I to talk down to smart people?
They are normal people. They are the proletariat. They're who you should be fighting for. And they don't believe you are fighting for them. More importantly, there is a difference between being educated and being smart. IQ isn't just about how many books you read or how many words you know. A lot of it is about pattern recognition, and boy did I recognize some patterns here. Maybe you guys should have listened to—
Oh man, yeah, I know, pattern recognition. It's the biggest struggle for most left. I have no idea if that's true, but that is a funny thing to say.
The bimbo with populist brain rot, because she seemed to be right about a lot of this. If the Democratic Party wants to win another election, they need to start understanding the importance of populism. Drop the divisive identity politics and focus on the bread and butter issues, or you are doomed. Become the party of Huey Long again, or you are doomed. But you know what? Maybe you're not doomed. Because if Trump fails to deliver on his promises, or we get like George Bush 3, it's totally possible that the populism vacuum will be open again. Will the Democrats take advantage of this and actually put up a good candidate? No. They're gonna put up like Pete Buttigieg or Gavin Newsom, and the populism vacuum will be filled by people like my Twitter mutual and soon-to-be Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance. That is still so weird. What do I do with this power? Hey, J.D. Best Buddy, I have an idea. It's called Patriot Care, and it's healthcare, but our tax dollars go to it instead of bombs. Doesn't that sound cool? If you can't beat them, join them. The fact is, this election was a complete rejection of the liberal ideology. Or it was just because of inflation and people want to afford eggs again.
Or meats. Or cans of chili. Or potatoes. It could be a lot of things.
Yeah, it was probably that. It just kind of sucks to see the party you voted for your whole life, the party you grew up with, just get worse and worse over time. After this, the Democrats are gonna move right in the dumbest ways. They're gonna become like the new neocons, but gay. And I have no idea how a second Trump term is gonna go. I hope it goes well. I don't know. Congrats to RFK, I guess. I'll see you guys in the Adderall labor camps, otherwise known as the concentration camps. Get it? Okay. Anyway, so that is enough of my yapping. Now I want to hear you yap. Why do you think Trump won? And what could the Democrats do to win 2028? Anyway, if you liked this video, please consider subscribing. Also, if you can, donate to me on Patreon, or you could do a little tip with the little tip jar down below somewhere. It helps the channel a lot, and I appreciate it so much. And I will see you very soon with a new video that is very, very different than this one. Some of you might like it. I know a certain community will. But that is it for now, so bye!
I'll just let that in. Oh my god. Ugh. The fucking meme. No, shut up. So there you have it. God, what are my thoughts? I felt like I pretty much made all of my thoughts in that entire video, but yeah, that was everything that I've hated about Democrats in one video, and it's also everything that I hate about Twitter and about social media and about Christie abominations in office, and among other things. It is the encapsulation of all the things that I hate about politics. I hope you all enjoyed that. It was 2 hours, 30 minutes worth of it. I hope you all enjoyed it. Also, please do go watch, subscribe, leave a comment, do whatever you want with good old Shoe. She deserves it. She's great. Feel free. Like the video, I need to sign it. Oh yeah, that figures. I forgot. I'm in incognito right now. I'll go ahead and do that when I get back on my main account. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope... Oh, actually, before I end this, I would like to know what you guys have to say about why you guys, if you guys voted, why you guys voted for a particular leaning. Is it because you think that everyone's batshit insane? I mean, provided you're not a Democrat or a liberal voter yourself and you didn't immediately click off somewhere midway through the video because I got too heated at one point, and I did. I'm still consistently heated by these kind of issues, but, you know, that's neither here nor there. If you managed to survive this long, you know, I would like to hear what everyone has to say in the comments section below. Maybe you'll hate it, maybe you'll rejoice, maybe you'll think I have the most base takes imaginable, maybe you'll think I'm right up there as a commentator with ShoeOnHead. I have no fucking clue. I do not know anything. You might even say that I'm absolutely shit at reaction videos, and I should just stick to gaming content, and even then you're shit at that too. I don't know. I'll leave it all up to you. Again, thank you all so much for watching. Please go support the original video, and have a nice rest of your day. Bye-bye.